If you complain more than you produce, you're typically on the left. And if you produce more than you complain, you're typically on the right. Because of that, we have seen this pattern time and time again, that those that are willing to take to the streets and are willing to destroy and get engaged in very nasty tactics, we must remind ourselves that there is a reason for it. Because the enemy is not necessarily even Israel. The enemy is not even America. The enemy is our way of life. It is freedom of speech. It's the Constitution. It's the fruits that we enjoy fundamentally. And it is a de-civilization movement. And what do they want? It's not actually even clear. But they want to destroy what already is. And I think that's what separates what many of you believe here tonight from the forces that you've been seeing outside, which is if you go through those three questions, it is very, very important to emphasize that it is hard, nearly impossible to build the country that you've grown up in. You are growing up, and it's less and less the case, a wealthy country, a decent country, a country that affords you opportunity. Why is it that so few countries have been able to replicate what we have here in the United States of America? Is it because we have better founding documents? Our founding documents are pretty awesome, but other countries have tried, and just because you have a good constitution doesn't mean you have a great country. Just ask Liberia. Is it because we have a lot of natural resources? We do have a lot of natural resources, but that's not the reason why we're wealthy and powerful. Russia has a lot of natural resources, and they're 1/30th as rich as we are, despite being 1/3 the size of we are. 1/30th as rich, 1/3 the size. Tons of natural gas, tons of natural resources. Is it because we have the most people? Well, we don't have the most people. India is quadruple the population of America, and they have a GDP per capita around $800 per person. In India, there are 600 million people without running water or toilets in India. And for them, that's actually a number that has gone down. It used to be 750 million, and it's now gone to 600 million. What is it that makes this country so unique? It is our values that make us unique. And the fundamental American value that needs to be repeated to every young person in this country is that this country is not nearly as bad as you've been taught. It's actually better than you've ever believed. And if you work hard and play by the rules, you can make something magnificent of your life. And at the fundamental core of all that is gratitude. How many of the people that are protesting endlessly and screaming at the sky are filled with gratitude, or are they filled with ingratitude? Gratitude requires, first and foremost, recognizing that you are not the most important thing ever to exist in the history of the world. If I were to venture a guess tonight, the majority of you believe two things: that there is a God and you are not him. Those two things are critically important, because believing those things will then make you realize that you have somebody, something to be grateful for. Secondly, and I must end on this point, then we'll do question and answer. It is not a leap in my belief that Seattle, being the most atheist city in America, happens to be the hotbed of some of the most radical activity in this country. You might say, Charles, that's a causation without correlation. It's not that man fails to believe in God. It's who does he call God? There is no such thing as an atheist. There's just somebody who has replaced the traditional belief in the biblical God with the God of LGBT, or the God of earth worship, or the God of anti-racism, or the God of I want to protest because I'm so bored and tired of smoking weed and playing video games all day long. Whatever you call God is what you will dominate. In fact, dare I say, the God of Seattle life is much closer to a pagan belief system than an atheistic belief system, which is that there's symbols, there are incantations, there are parades that make you feel as if you're important and part of something. My belief system is that the death of the ethical monotheistic God, which I believe is the God of the Bible, the founding fathers agreed, but we don't have to talk deeply about that if you don't want to, is also the death of the West. Who are you to say what is good or what is evil if you cannot tell me what good and evil actually is, and if that is transcendent or not? If it is everybody's personal opinion, then all that matters is power. If up or down, right or left, good and evil are merely an opinion, then it matters who is actually issuing the opinion. What made America different, that value system that I've articulated, is a Christian value system that we can call a Western value system, that if you believe that there is a God and you are not him, and that God has commanded you to live a certain way, The best way I could distill this, and I know this is probably the least popular thing you could say on a college campus, so I will repeat it for clarity to make sure you remember it, is that if you live by the 10 Commandments, your society will flourish. If you do not live by the 10 Commandments, your society will collapse. You'll have no other gods before me. You shall not make any graven images. You shall not take the Lord's name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day and to keep it holy. Honor your mother and father so they may live long in the land of which you are in. Do not steal. Do not murder. Do not commit adultery. Do not covet. And the 10th, I can't remember. Someone can fill it in for me. But I might have repeated one. That's not bad, though. 9 out of 10 is not bad. Thank you, though. I was just from memory. So... I said covet, murder, steal, adultery, bear false witness. Thank you. Do not lie. Thank you very much. Do not bear false witness. There you go. Thank you very much. If you live by the 10 Commandments and you believe that there is a God that has issued those 10 Commandments to you, and you believe that they are transcendent, outside of your own opinion, you will act differently. I don't believe this will be awfully persuasive for many of you, but I believe it's important to say that you are about to see the excesses of secularism in this modern era, and you are living through it. You are living through the most depressed, suicidal, anxious, alcohol-addicted generation in history. A generation that has been told that God is not cool, go pursue your own truth. And it is a catastrophe. It's a catastrophe of kids that are looking for meaning, that do not know what is right or wrong. And what I am arguing for you is when you do that, you have moral chaos. Be very careful crashing down the gods of yesterday or the God of yesterday and saying, I don't need that. What you are living through is that moral chaos. And I would love someone to go up to the open mic and tell me by what code of conduct you guys can live under or comes from that is proven to have a flourishing, prosperous society that is better than the one that I have just articulated. Because we know that the one that I've articulated, it doesn't just work for one people, but for all people. So in closing, I'll just say this, is that I am so encouraged by what we see tonight. We could not find a room big enough to fit all of the students that want to hear from this message here at the University of Washington. We had to turn away over 1,000 people. This is remarkable because if you look at the polling, Gen Z men are the most conservative that they have been in the last 50 years. Why is that the case? Because for all of you 18, 19, and 20-year-old men out there in the audience, you are sick and tired of being told that every problem in the world is because of you. Is that just because you are a young man, and specifically a young white man, that you have to apologize when you walk into the room? That you have to apologize for quote-unquote rape culture and being toxically masculine? Young men especially, they want their country back. They want to be able to own property, get married, have children, not have to live under the fear that if they do not say the right thing, the HR manager might walk into their office and obliterate their career. They want to be able to say it's a good thing that we have men in society, that we need strong men to defeat evil in this society. And there is only one place where that sort of a message is resonating, and it certainly is not on the American left. On the American left is where androgynous beta males find a home, where they're able to, complain about their feelings all day long. You guys can do that, while the ascendant men in this country that are serious about their future, serious about fighting evil, join the conservative movement in record numbers to go build a country worth living in and to reject the forces that have been destroying it from within.